Phần tiếp theo là phiên kỹ thuật Accelerate Ethereum Execution with Block Level Accelerate Benchmark and Scope với Time Richard Sky Founder Pyramid Lab Augment Aurobino Lead Devil ZK Verify Sumhem Legendary Hip of Ecosystem Mentor chủ tọa Mikey Kanta Devora Konda CEO Adigot IT Lab LLB. Cuộc thảo luận đề cập tới tối ưu đột phá cho Ethereum cực kỳ quan trọng để nâng cao hiệu suất giao dịch cho cả thế hệ sinh thái. Xin mời các diễn giả.
Up next, a technical deep dive. Accelerate Ethereum execution with block level asset list, benchmark and cost. Presented by Tim Berjeski, founder of Pyramid Labs. Armand Arobindo, lead developer at CK Verify. Subhan Bahanri, head of ecosystem at Manta, and moderated by Manikanta Devarakonda, CEO of Adigos IT Labs. This discussion tackles breakthrough optimization for Ethereum execution, vital for improving transaction efficiency across the ecosystem. Let's welcome our expert.
Hi, good morning all. I hope everyone is enjoying ETHV Yatna. Good morning to all the panelists. And we are on a very interesting topic like how do we accelerate Ethereum as a block level access. And this is one of a pioneer innovation in ETH so that we can reduce the gas cost and we can apply in large scale applications. So before to start with, I want Armand to give just brief what exactly the block level access.
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's a new EIP that we are trying to merge with Ethereum through an upgrade. And the main motive is we want to parallelize the EVM. And as we go ahead through the EVM pathway, we want to increase the block gas to say so that we can have more transactions. And then by adding the block level access list, so it's basically what I mean is for each block, we'll have a list of which smart contract addresses will have an effect into the state and at which particular slot of the address. By having this, we can have faster validation of the blocks, by which we can have a much more throughput. It's expected to have 2 to 5x of throughput. And as we're going through the L2 scaling roadmap for Ethereum, this will be highly valuable for the whole ecosystem.
Mr. Shubham, I mean, on this, how do we differentiate a block level access and a transaction level access?
So for us specifically, when we started, so it was like a parallel execution to EVM side. So we were not a fully compatible chain, but that time we were using a parallel execution mechanism where all the transactions were going to three parallel Cosmos ecosystem. But then after I think so 2023 when modular ecosystem started, so we started analyzing the transaction instead of settling directly on Ethereum. We started also using DAs, specifically Celestia. So we are one of the largest one on them. I think so that particular time the modules were divided into 3 sections. Execution was done on Manta, settlement was done on again Ethereum, but all the data was separated to the Celestia side.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Tim, I mean, I have a question on what kind of an impact it will be on the performance, when we implement a block level access?
On the performance scale, important benchmarks today show that around 60 to 80% of transactions can be parallelized through that. And meanwhile, it actually increases the requirements on, say, bandwidth on the nodes. However, the disk-write operations are going to significantly allow to reduce the costs on the gas on those transactions that can be parallelized.
So, I mean, if we trying to reduce the gas cost, can we apply this on large-scale industries, especially like in agriculture? Why I'm saying about agriculture? Because most of the Southeast Asian countries, like a majority of their GDP depends on agriculture-driven GDP. So like something if we can apply this to the bottom pyramid, like where regular farmers can implement, or can we bring them into the blockchain industry?
Well, frankly, I think that bringing the agriculture and farmers to the blockchain currently is more on a regulatory side. The transaction costs on layer 2s are dropping down, and all of the Ethereum scaling roadmap is oriented toward just generally reducing the gas costs generally. This particular EIP will affect more of those who are executing their parallel transactions, and it allows to reduce these costs on basically heating up, warming up the storage, because when you access transaction storage on, say, Ethereum node, there is this explicit cost of actually like warming it up before operating. So this particularly helps for those who are executing, I guess, small transactions that are not really interwinded to the big ecosystem, and therefore can be parallelized, which is like local something.
Thank you. Arman, like with your experience on GK proofs and like layer 2 and rollups, like what kind of challenges we might face when we implement the block level access?
So basically, coming to challenges, like so I've been working with a lot of ZKL2s with even SP1's ZK EVM kind of project and all. So based on my experience with having a like, so basically every ZK VM right now is fighting to build kind of a light client. So SP1 has Helios, RISC0 has their own client, and the whole motive of them is to like create provable blocks on Ethereum. And right now, all of them are trying to do it as real time as possible. So 12 seconds is the benchmark to beat on. And so if we add BLs to basically the whole Ethereum client to say, and like if we have the BL hash on the block header and we use SSS encoding, which is on the EIP, I think that it will be a lot more beneficial for all the ZK EVMs at least. So the proving times will be increased. No need to re-execute the whole transactions. It can be executionless kind of validation going on. And more on the optimistic rollups, so they will also benefit. It's not only for ZK L2s. So most of the L2s will basically have, as we're increasing the gas as well, they will have like more space to put up data blobs onto.
Mr. Shubham, I mean, like, do you see a potential of implementing a block level access in different industries? It can be DeFi, gaming, or any other industry.
So it would be like a biased opinion from my side. So I usually not prefer to change the stacks and everything at once, because even the last cycle we have seen a lot of infrastructure coming up, which is a good thing. But when we talk about the users and stuff, it was like around 12% of increase, even if we see a bull cycle. But that is not a good part. And apart from that, even if I am coming from a layer 2, I accept what he said, that everyone is moving to light clients. Like even we are a OP stack, we got a proposal from Succinct that we need to move to Succinct light client, but still our major focus was to go through the initial process of like consumer application instead of going to the tech savvy applications. But yeah, definitely I accept like we need to change the text, but I don't think like it is necessary for categories to go ahead. So for example, if there is an app chain which is coming right now, they have a specific purpose. You mentioned about the agriculture. I accept that it is a regulatory thing, but also there are a lot of chains coming on which are private blockchain, where you don't have to worry about gas fee. Someone can pay gas fee to the sequencer, someone can pay the gas fee to other people as well, like whoever is running the chain. But when it comes to a public chain specifically, so gas fee needs to be paid. So either you use less settlement, as he mentioned that with the help of ZK, there can be some proofs off chain, some proof on chain, which can reduce the gas fee, which can reduce the load as well. But apart from that, right now to change the whole infrastructure, it took around like 3 years for us to adapt ZK across the ecosystem. Now, if we change again it to with some more infrastructure upgrades, it will increase the tech knowledge, it will increase the tech standards, but it won't increase the user. So I have a biased opinion on this.
I agree. I mean, up to certain part, like as it comes to the public blockchain, like there we need to pay for certain gas fee on that thing. Okay, Mr. Team, like what kind of a protocol impact or challenges we are going to face, or like just to start with block level access, like just to give some guidance to the audience, like how do we start with?
On a protocol level, I guess the biggest challenge is your question, right? So the node clients in Ethereum, there are major ones, and we know that for redundancy purpose, we want to have them as many as possible. For all of them, this is a very big fundamental architecture change. This is not how the nodes were written to execute the transactions. So that implies that there's a lot of work to be done for many different teams to adapt that. And that's one of the biggest challenges I would outline here.
Mr. Arman, like when we use GK EVMs, okay, GK EVMs, again, as an implementation, as we compared like transaction level or the current execution layer, using the transaction level on the block level access. What is your insight on next might be on when we are handling more than 100 million requests or 100 transactions?
Yeah, so like reiterating my stuff, like, and also adding to both of their points. As we scale more Ethereum and as we get into the universal settlement layer kind of a state, we have like more L2s, more ZK L2s, more optimistic L2s. It's all the ecosystem, but adding BALs and all these things. And we also have kind of a plan to kind of add at some point of time to add ZK to the Ethereum main chain as well. So BAL is one of the roadblocks to it, like where we basically try to help validating it. So right now, having BAL access list for like the ZK Lite clients, as I mentioned, will be a really, really good upgrade. It will boost up the performance a lot. We are also seeing a lot of teams building pre-compiles for that. Later down the line, as we move on to the ZK EVM L2s as such, like we have Scroll, Tycho, and many more. For them, it will be a very much performant. And based on my understanding right now, the optimistic rollups are kind of leading the whole stack. We have seen Base, Optimism, Arbitrum leading the stack. While like with ZK, there's own kind of performance issues. You have your own provers to be running and all these things. So I guess by having more adoption in the ZK on the Ethereum side of things, it will make things much more easier in the front.
I agree. Like I mean, Shubham, like before, what is your key take or like what is your suggestion or to implement on this to the audience? I mean, what is your key take on block level access? If you are recommending this, like what is your suggestion to the audience on that?
So it's very simple. Like, let's take an example. So how the industry changed. Initially, it was not like L2s. It was like parachains, if you remember. It was also called as side chains, where the execution was still done on Ethereum, but it is called as sharding. Secondly, when we started seeing the OP stack boom, Validium boom, that time we have seen a lot of like layer twos and coming up. After that, EIP, I think so. The Duncan update was the biggest one, where we all expected to gas fee reduce tremendously, and it helped us a lot. If we see it recently, and recently, like all the other EIPs which are mentioned, like by December 2025, which will be launched. So I think so. All of these upgrades have brought somewhat changes, but it is it till now, after Duncan update, I've never seen a big upgrade which has created a hard fork on the chain specifically, and plus on the ZK side and narrative side. So I still feel that the ZK which we have right now is fair enough for the users which we have. Apart from that, for the performance and stuff, I think so. He mentioned right. We have like around we need 100K or maybe 3 lakhs, which is like 300K transactions per seconds. But do you think like that many transactions are happening right now? So on the best chains like L1s and L2s, let's take an example of Arbitrum. They settle per day around 1.2 or maybe max to max 3 million transactions. So we don't require that many speed right now, but it's more about like if the gas fee is reduced, so that time it's not focused that we are increasing the technology, but it is focused that people will start using it more because it is more cheaper than any other option which you have right now. So I think it's a indirect impact. According to me, it should not be a direct impact, because whenever we talk about the start of the blockchain, it was about the scalability, it was about the gas fee, and still today, like till today, we are still solving the same thing. So I think we should focus on the same technology upgrade, but with a different mindset, where we don't focus on reducing gas fee because it is too high, but reducing gas fee because we want more users. It should be a cheapest option for them so that they don't go anywhere else.
Thank you very much for your insights. Like you mentioned, the mindset we need to change on. That is really appreciable. Before closing note, Tim, can you please share your experience on Web3 space and your experience? So like that will help us young upcoming engineers to just learn from your experience.
Okay, I can just go first. So, I started back in 2019, but not as an official job or something, but I was doing some research. So, I come from a TradFi background. So, I used to analyze Bitcoin, specifically Tron, because Tron was like famous for USDT transactions. But then back in 2020, I started working with Polygon. I was a research analyst before, but after a certain time, I moved to business development and ecosystem, specifically for the gaming. After that, I joined Manta Network, which was another layer two, powered by Bybit and stuff. So I used to be the head of gaming over there. Then back in 2023, I started working with Manta as a head of ecosystem. But in June 2024, I started as a principal at Manta Foundation as well.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Arman, can you
I'll
please?
take next. So relatively, I'm new among all of you. It's just been 5 years for me from 2020 exploring Web3. And my initial hands-on was on the Polkadot ecosystem. I was one of the core contributors for the substrate palette thing. And after that, I've been exploring a lot into the interop stack. So I was working with Hyperlane, India's at DevRel, where we build a lot of applications, a lot of into DeFi, gaming, and all of that stuff. And later down the line, I've been exploring ZK for almost 3 years now. And one of the most interesting things that I've done in the past is ZKML. So I did like a full year research on ZKML. I published few research papers on it. I'm very close with the EZKL team. We're working very closely. And it's been almost 6 months now. I'm working with ZK Verify and Horizon to build the next privacy layer.
Thank you. Mr. Tim.
For me, my career started more than 50 years ago with actually electronics engineering, hardware, microwave design. And that was my first big job to do the microwave engineering. And for me, always the excitement about the engineering studies and research was about understanding the whole stack from the transistor level up to the virtual machines and like more like virtual environments. So I'm really happy that I feel that around this year, actually this journey started to finishing, because I went through like transistors and we had the companies working about IP design. I had a lot of patents and algorithms designs for signal processing. And around 2020, I moved to web and did web development just to explore it. It was very new for me. And eventually I shifted towards security aspect of blockchain, because it was very, very important for me to understand how the thing works. So I moved to work as Open Zeppelin at a security architect position, and I spent there a few years working with biggest institutions and DAOs, particularly doing a lot of research how not just blockchain works, but also the game theory behind. And eventually I moved on to establishing my own practice and eventually company, which I run right now. And here we're not doing just blockchain, we're basically also right now doing a lot of AI research. And I feel like this loop is closing, because I found that AI research and matrices and all of the vector mathematics is very similar to electrodynamics, where I started my career at. Yeah.
Thank you. On this, on closing note, thank you very much for all your insights and information. Thank you.